Why don't you give us your perspective on a scale of 1 to 5 as it relates to advertiser acceptance of addressability, willingness to move lots of dollars there? Where do you think the market is?
I'd say we're about around a 4. Some clients are much more accepting, some not quite as much, but overall, if you asked me a year ago, I'd say it's closer to 3. So we're certainly trending in the right direction. And I'd say 4, 4.2, somewhere in there.
And what's happened in the last year to improve it? Has it been proof point, positive case studies? Has it been technology?
I'd say it's a mix. It's positive case studies, it's technology, it's really things like this, just getting the word out there. Ultimately, education really drives a lot of this. So really understanding how it's done, how it can be used, kind of getting rid of the scary, this is too fragmented, too hard to accomplish. I think that's really what's creating most of the shift, and rightfully so. It was harder a few years ago, but as everybody does this more and more and more, I think we're creating a much cleaner path towards the future.
And what do you think the industry needs to do? You have the cable through the cable operators. We heard from Comcast Spotlight earlier. Mm-hmm. You have Project Or and the vision of addressability through TV manufacturers. What do you think has to happen just to remove all of the friction from transacting addressability?
I need a magic wand. I think there's, I don't know if we'll ever get to one universal way of buying it. I mean, it would make my life awesome, but I'm not sure we'll get there. But I think as we see consolidation kind of continue to take place, the NCCs, the Xanders, and then you have Project Or, you have Nielsen, and there's going to be, I think, a continuation of that. There's still Dish, there's Verizon, there's others that are kind of floating and kind of working on their own things, or playing along with the others. So I think as long as it continues to trend in that direction, it's helpful. Getting 3 reports or 4 reports versus 7 is great, but it's still not there. And I think it's something that we'll see to kind of hopefully go continue that route. But I think that's the keys are still in many other people's hands. So it's going to take them kind of coming to the table together.
To that point, do you think there needs to be one addressable marketplace with all the inventory sitting there for this thing actually ever to, there's a reason the TV business is $70 billion, which is, It's easy to transact in a lot of cases.
I think that would be helpful, but I think there's other pieces of business that play into it. I think, the connected partners are sort of coming from a different angle. The traditional cable partners have his own legacy business, their spot business to account for. Satellite's slightly different. You have the internet providers, 5G could come into play somehow. That would be awesome, but I'm not sure that they're all play together. I think there's kind of a backfill of inventory issue that they'd have to kind of sort through. But that would be ideal. I think we're seeing it get much easier. I'm not trying to be like a bleak outlook on this. But I don't know if we need that to really scale it, I guess would be my take. I think it's there. I think, you're 2/3 of TV households, potentially a lot more with connected TV. In terms of getting into one provider, you can have, I can have Comcast, Samsung TV, or Hulu, watching Hulu on my Roku. I don't know if we'll ever get that down to one, but as kind of some of these guys, these networks, someone like NBC and the others come out with apps that might help, that might complicate, it's really just such kind of a blank space right now. And I think we'll kind of all see it work itself out. It kind of always does. But in the interim, there are ways to get to where we want to be. It's just it's a little bit extra steps, a few more extra steps.